Day 3. It doesn't seem to be 3 days since I sat down here, but for technology's sake, it's day 3. I'll turn the calendar around so it hasn't changed. Another kid's book. And rather than explain it all again, if you want to know what this is about and how it got started, look at day 1 or day 2. A different author again today, Judith Vorst. And she has a series of books about Alexander and his brothers, his family, parents. This is probably the most well-known of her collection. The title is Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. This is Alexander telling the story. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair, and when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a Junior Undercover Agent code ring in his cereal box, but in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window, too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said, if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be carsick. No one even answered. Well, I could tell. It was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? Yeah, I could tell. It's going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tank, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag. And Albert, he got a Hershey bar with almonds. And Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was. Because after school, my mom took us to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going away to Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for Mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started to cry because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I told everybody. Nobody listened. So we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, we're all sold out of those. They made me buy plain, old, white ones. They couldn't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with the phone. And I think I called Australia. My dad said, please, don't pick him up anymore. Yeah, it was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner. I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV. I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad pajamas. I hate my railroad pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. Cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom said some days are like that, even in Australia. 2020 so far, well, since March anyway, in our part of the world, seems like one extended, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And that's on top of the challenges many people face daily anyway. And that includes you. I'm sure there are those of us who know Alexander well, who've been down that road many times, and there may be, as I say, some of you right now experiencing anything but comfort, peace, serenity, wholeness, health. There's a whole mess of things that get messed up. And the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad days are there. That caused me to think of the Apostle Paul. It's chopped out of context, so I just want to read a little bit to you, but some of you will recognize it. He's already been talking to these people, writing to them, and then he comes to a question. He says, are they servants of Christ? And then he says he's out of his mind to talk like this. I am more. If they're servants of Christ, I'm more. I've worked much harder, been in prison more frequently, been flogged more severely, and been exposed to death again and again. 5 times I received from the Jews the 40 lashes, minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was pelted with stones. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a night and a day in the open sea. I've been constantly on the move. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my fellow Jews, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at sea, and in danger from false believers. I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. I have known hunger and thirst and have often gone without food. I have been cold and naked. Talk about a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Did it stop him? I don't have the verse in front of me here, but later he wrote to his friends in Philippi. And there he said, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I can get through every terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day because I am not alone. Jesus is with me. He will give grace. He will give strength. And if the answer isn't immediate, it'll come eventually. In the meantime, his love for me does not diminish in the least. And my prayer is that my love for him likewise won't diminish no matter what kind of day I have, even during these COVID